Y'all know what it is. Jay Williams, Let's Live Life, and we're back. Who has sex with a baby? Let's relive it. When I was up Greensville, man, by far the sickest dude I ever met was a dude by the name of Stacy. Now, when I say sick, I don't mean sick along the lines of murdering people. I don't mean sick along the lines of inmate on inmate violence. I mean, his charge alone made him the sickest individual I'd ever dealt with in all my years of incarceration. Now, Stacy was one of those dudes that was real quiet. He was almost like a recluse. He never talked to nobody. He had a job, working at the warehouse at the prison, and even at the warehouse where he worked at his station with other dudes, he never spoke. I never once heard the man say a word. I've been around Stacy maybe 2 years at this point when this story took place. So at this time, we have this shift of officers that are just, what's the best word to say without, they were just ghetto. You know what I mean? It's what it was. Most of the officers on that shift were low income housing. They carried themselves ghetto. They were super ratchet. No offense to anybody, but you get what I'm saying. There was no white officers on the shift. It was just mostly these ghetto ass, women, right? And a couple, street dudes that were working our shift. Our sergeant at the time was a piece of shit, man. He was more interested in sleeping with females at the prison than he was doing his job, even though his wife was also an officer at the prison. So we get a new CO on the shift, and the CO is from a different county. She immediately notices Stacy because of Stacy's case, and it was all in the news years before. But Stacy's been locked up for years now, but she remembered him because of his case. Now, Stacy was in the cell with a dude that worked on electronics named Randy Chappelle. Randy was a good dude, big fat dude, ate honey buns, Snicker bars all day. If he worked on something, he wanted you to pay him in all sweets. If Randy wasn't eating sweets, he was working on electronics. If he wasn't working on electronics, he was looking for a way to smoke some crack. That's just, some backdrop on who Randy was. But Stacy was his cellmate, and he never even really talked to Randy. I asked Randy, I was like, what's up with your cellmate, man? That dude don't never talk. You know what I mean? He's like, I don't know, man. He maybe said 5 words to me, in the years we've been in the cell together. So I'm like, all right. Then we've got a dude in our pod named Dog, Barbie Doll. And anybody that's been up Greensville that was there between 2005, 2014 era, y'all know who Barbie Doll is. Y'all know who Dog is. He looks like a shorter version of Debo. You know what I mean? He's just muscle bound black dude. It's just muscles on top of muscles on top of muscles with a bald head. And he was an ex-booty bandit. Now you're probably thinking, how can you be an ex-booty bandit? The fuck is an ex-booty bandit? Dog was one of those dudes been locked up since the 80s and the 90s. And people called him Dog, or they called him Barbie Doll. And I worked maintenance with Dog. Knew him pretty well. We got along good. I'd heard stories about him. And I asked him one day, I said, why they call you Barbie Doll? He said, you might not like what I got to say, but I'm going to tell you anyway. I said, all right. He said, man, back in the day, I'd give me a little white boy, and that'd be my Barbie doll. He said, I treat them like Barbie dolls. I rub their heads and everything. He said, I take that ass from them. I'm looking at him like, what the fuck is wrong with this dude, man? He tripping. He was like, I'm just telling you, if you was soft back then, he was like, it didn't even matter if you was soft. He was like, if I wanted that ass, I would take it. He was like, but that was so many years ago. He was like, now, I don't really do that so much, man. He's like, I might make parole one day, so I had to slow down. He's like, plus you got all these punks running around here, so you ain't really got to take no ass no more, man. He's like, but yeah, they used to call me Barbie Doll. He's like, but now they just call me Dog. Hey, whatever, man. So we get this new guard on, right? All this ties together. We get this new guard on, her name's Sharon. And Sharon is from the same county as this dude Stacy that never talks to anybody. Sharon recognizes Stacy. Right away she recognizes him. She knows who he is. She goes in the office. She pulls up his paperwork. She goes into the pod and she posts it. Like they have this bulletin board where they put up, newsletters, new rules in the prison. Maybe